afternoon, Betty. Today's date is March 1st, 2007. My name is William Reinhardt, and I'll be interviewing Betty Lou Hutton Osborne for the Veterans History Project, part of the Library of Congress. And this interview is taking place at NMS Healthcare in Hagerstown, Maryland. Betty, please state your full name and address for the record.
Betty Lou Osborne. I call it Avalon Manor.
You call it Avalon Manor? Okay. That's because it just changed over from Avalon Manor to NMS Healthcare? Okay. Okay, Betty, I'm going to help you by bringing up some things from the memory jogger that I gave you when I first met you last week. Now, Betty, you told me that you were in all 4 branches of the service.
Yeah.
You were in the Army first?
Yeah, right. Women's Army Corps.
Women's Army Corps. And then what was your next branch of service?
Army.
Yeah, and then after the Army?
Navy.
Navy?
Then the Air Force, and then the Marines.
Then the Marines. So, when you were a nurse in the latter part of your career, were you a nurse for the Marine Corps?
No, I was a nurse for the Army.
For the Army. Okay. All right. When did you enlist?
At 53, I think it was. Right after high school. A year after high school.
You enlisted 1 year after high school in 1953?
Yeah.
Okay. Where were you living at the time?
Falling Waters.
Falling Waters, West Virginia? Why did you join the
I
Army?
don't know, I just, adventure, I guess.
You joined for adventure?
Yeah, I thought, try to see what I liked it. I worked 2 years wouldn't be long if I didn't like them. It's a long time though if you don't like something.
Yeah. So your initial service was for 2 years, but you didn't like it. Is that right?
Not at first.
Not at first. But then that changed?
Yeah.
Can you tell me how it changed?
I don't know. I got to like the people most in my job.
You didn't care for the people in your job?
I like my job and I like the people.
Oh, okay. So do you recall your very first days in the Army?
Yeah. First day I was in there, I was standing there in front of somebody hollered, "Set that suitcase down, soldier."
So the very first day, somebody hollered at you, "Set that suitcase down, soldier."
Yeah.
Did you know who they were talking to?
Yeah, I knew they were talking to me.
Can you tell me about your basic training experience?
That was kind of rough, but I got used to it. They made me quit smoking in basic.
They made you quit smoking?
Yeah, but then I started up later on.
Do you recall where you took basic training?
Fort Lee, Virginia.
Okay, and is that where the Women's Army Corps did all of their training?
And I know that. I think they can train at Fort McCall, Alabama now.
Okay.
I think you still train at Fort Lee too. I was sworn in at Oregon and also them said, "I'm sending you to Fort Lee, that'll make it easier on you." I don't know what you meant by that.
Oh, okay. So how did you get through your basic training?
I wanted to go to leadership school, and Lieutenant Brough said, "You work a little hard and you can go to leadership school." Then I went to leadership school.
So you wanted to go to leadership school, and Lieutenant, what was her name?
Rules.
Rolls?
Rules. B-R-O-Y-L-E-S.
Rules.
Yeah.
Okay. She said that you would make it, and you did go.
Yeah.
That's great. So, from your experiences in the Army, the first war conflict that you served in was the Korean conflict?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where in Korea you went?
I think it was C-O.
You think it was where?
C-O.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
S-E-O-U-L.
Seoul.
Yeah.
Seoul, Korea? Okay. And can you tell me anything about your tour of duty in Seoul, Korea?
Oh, it wasn't too bad.
Okay. Do you remember arriving in Seoul, and can you tell me what it was like?
It's Koreans are a little hard to get used to, but I got used to them.
You got used to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was your job assignment when you first went to Korea?
I took care of military records.
Military records. Okay.
Yeah.
Did any combat take place around you?
Yeah, you could hear the shelling. We had our office set up just off from the battlefield. You could hear the shelling.
You could hear the shelling from the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Did the unit that you were working in experience any casualties?
No, not that I remember.
Okay. Can you tell me one or two of your most memorable experiences in Seoul?
No, I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
Can't tell me anything about it?
No.
Okay. Now, you told me that you were a prisoner of war, but
Yeah.
that was not until Vietnam.
That's right.
Okay. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
No, I would think the man also gave me some kind of bronze star. I don't know what it was for.
Okay.
And
But you don't know what the Bronze Star was for?
No, and good service, good conduct medal, and national defense medal.
Okay. Now, after the Korean War, you got out of the Army and you enlisted in what?
After Korea, I think it was the army, the men's army.
Okay, I thought earlier you told me that you enlisted in the Air Force.
Yeah, I did that from the Navy.
You did that after the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, now in Vietnam, you were in the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was in the army when I was in Vietnam.
You were in the Army when you were in Vietnam?
Yeah, yeah.
Well then, can you tell me when you were in the Marine Corps?
I was stationed stateside when I was in the Marines.
Okay, do you remember where you were stationed stateside?
I think it was in Washington, D.C. I was secretary to the commandant when I was in the Marines.
You were secretary to the commandant when you were in the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
So then you must have been at headquarters Marine Corps.
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay. Can you tell me anything that stands out in your mind about your service after Korea in the 50s and the early 60s, but before you were in Vietnam?
I don't know. I remember for Dix, I had an OJT underneath me.
Mm-hmm.
If you could make it in Kirk Carter School, they made you an OJT. And she used to go to the bakery and get cakes. And Colonel Smith was coming across the lawn, and she ran out of the room. And I put the cake in the foot locker, and the colonel came in and looked in all the foot lockers except the one that had the cake in.
And her name was Colonel Swinson?
No, Colonel Smith was the name of the colonel.
Colonel Smith. Was
He
that a
was
female colonel or a male colonel?
male colonel. They used to call him High Pocket.
High Pockets.
Yeah, and the OJT was Hazel Morris, but she got married and got out.
Tell me about a little bit about your story about when you were a military policeman.
I wouldn't use a gun on some man. I let him beat me up, and they said, we gave you that gun to use. She said, you're too dumb to be an MP.
So you were a military policewoman, and where was that?
Fort Lee.
Fort Lee. And you had a suspect that beat you up, and so then, because you didn't take out your service revolver, they said you were too dumb, and they wouldn't let you be a military policewoman anymore.
No.
How long did it take you to recover from being beaten up by this?
About 3 weeks.
Okay.
I was black and blue all over.
Did they ever apprehend the man that beat you up?
Yeah, I think they took him in.
Okay.
Put him in the brig.
Put him in the brig. Now, you also told me that you were in the Air Force and that you repaired engines.
Yeah, I was an airplane mechanic.
Airplane mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember where that was?
I think I was Fort Bliss, Texas.
Fort Bliss, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I thought that Fort Bliss was an Army post.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
My niece was at Fort Bliss, Texas. I don't know. I don't remember much. I don't remember much of that. I don't dwell on the past. I forget everything.
I understand. Okay. Can you tell me about your service in Vietnam?
That was kind of rough.
How so?
I was seeing all those bloody sights was the worst mess.
You were what?
Seeing all those bloody sights and trying to patch them up and stuff.
Seeing all the bloody sights and trying to patch them up. Okay. Do you remember what years you were in Vietnam?
Yeah, I remember you shaking and they grabbed your head and tried to make you slip the throat.
Now, you told me that you were a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you became a prisoner of war in Vietnam?
No.
Do you remember coming home?
Yeah, I remember that.
Can you tell me about that?
I don't know. It felt good to get home, all I know.
It was good to get home.
Yeah, I could say the green grass for home.
Right. Now, do you recall whether you landed at Bowling Air Force Base in Maryland, or did you land in California?
I don't remember. I think it was in Washington.
In Washington?
Yeah.
Do you remember what year? Could it have been 1975?
I can't remember.
Now, were you the only woman POW that you were?
Yeah, I think I was.
That at least was with you in Hanoi?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the American prisoners used to call the prison in Hanoi? No? Okay. During your service life, can you tell me, how did you stay in touch with your family?
I just wrote
You wrote letters?
They came to see me a couple times at Fort Dix.
They came to see you a couple times at
Yeah,
Fort
my
Dix?
brother and his wife came to see me a couple times.
Okay. Tell me about...
And at Fort Lee, they took me back to camp one time. I told my brother Bruce you couldn't go in where the women were, and he wouldn't listen, and the MPs came in after me.
Oh, so the MPs came after your brother?
Yeah. I told him he couldn't go in where the women was. He said, no, I'm taking you in. And the MPs came after my brother. They got him out of there.
What was the food like in the service in Vietnam?
It wasn't bad,
Okay.
except in the prison war camp.
Tell me about you were talking to me earlier about your prisoner of war experience. Can you tell me some of the things that they did to you?
Just torture you, that's all, and didn't feed you too good.
And you mentioned a specific torture. They did something?
Six pieces off out of your fingernails and toenails and tortured you with it.
They put metal under, was it metal you said?
Yeah.
Underneath your fingernails and toenails?
Yeah, and tortured you. Put that on it. If you screamed, they gave it to you that much worse.
So if you screamed, they gave it to you worse.
Yeah. In the army, you learn to keep your mouth shut.
Was there something you did for good luck to help you survive that?
You know, I used to pray.
You used to pray.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still pray?
Yeah, once in a while. We have plenty of religion over there in the dining hall. It's mostly singing religious songs, but they always have somebody come there preaching and sing them.
Do you remember what the room was like that you were interned in?
One much is bare and cold.
Barren and cold?
Yeah.
Was it a wooden
Concrete, like.
concrete?
Yeah. Wasn't much of a place to go to the bathroom.
How were you able to go to the bathroom?
And you just do it on the floor, that's all.
What did you do to keep your mind clear?
I don't know, just live within myself, I guess.
Now, I think I heard you say earlier that you've had a stroke.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to tell you, Betty, that you are a remarkable survivor for having had a stroke.
Yeah.
And remember as much as you do about
It got me on my left side, mostly.
Okay. When you were in the service, did you see any entertainers?
No.
No.
I guess I did, I don't remember.
Do you remember going on leave anytime when you were in the service?
No. Except for Fort Dix and Fort Lee, I used to come home.
Okay. Besides Korea and Vietnam, did you serve in any other countries?
I was over in Paris, France for a while.
Paris, France. Do you remember when that was?
That was when I was in the wax. I didn't like it over there. I didn't like those men. They were too poor. So I used to come back to the States and they sent me back to Fort Dix.
So the Frenchmen were too forward for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember anything particularly humorous or unusual during your service?
No. I guess there's a funny thing about it. I remember at Fort Dix, we used to have our PJs on for a raincoat on, go to the canteen and get sandwiches and stuff. Wear our PJs up and put our raincoats on, go to the canteen and get sandwiches and stuff.
Well, you told me about one story about a cake that you had gotten.
Yeah. Hazel used to go to the bakery and get cakes. And we saw Colonel Smith come across the lawn, and Hazel ran out of the room and I put the cake in the foot locker. He came in and looked in every foot locker but the one that had the cake in. He said, how are you there? I said, fine, and then he left.
Do you remember Hazel's last name?
Morris?
Hazel Morris.
Yeah.
And she was stationed with you at Fort Dix?
Yeah. But she got married and got out.
Okay.
You can't stay in there after you get married.
Right. Did you have some photographs from your time in the service?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I had
Oh, you did? Okay. Now, after all of your tours of duty in the various services, did you get a retirement from the service?
Yeah, one time I did. I had 20-year retirement one time.
You have a 20-year retirement?
One time I had, but I don't have it anymore. I came back $40 on my feet, and Dr. Bailey, the foot doctor down there, got me some back pain on my feet. And I tried again, and they said there wasn't enough records on it. But they got me some back pain one time.
Now, another thing that you told me about was you received a shrapnel wound in the leg?
In my left leg.
Your left leg, and that's how you got the Purple Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was that in Vietnam or Korea?
Vietnam. My brother sold my Purple Heart.
Your brother sold your Purple Heart?
Mm-hmm. Ain't that awful?
Yeah. Can you tell me anything about how you were wounded by the shrapnel?
And this left leg still gets numb at night. It's hard to move it at night after I get in bed, but it don't bother me till at night when I get in bed. It gets numb.
Were you working in the hospital when you received the shrapnel wound, or were you outside?
I think it was on the battlefield.
You got out on the battlefield?
Yeah.
So you were out there attending to Marines or soldiers, and
Soldiers, yeah.
now you thought, if I recall correctly, that you were stationed in Da Nang.
Yeah.
What did you think of your fellow officers, non-commissioned officers, and enlisted men?
I thought they were nice people.
Did you keep a diary of any of your experiences?
I had a scrapbook, and I had a picture of Eisenhower in his white jacket, and it was the last picture I was of him, and they gave me a lot of money for it.
So you had a picture of Eisenhower in his Ike jacket,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave you a lot of money for it?
Yeah, it was the last picture of him. I had it in my scrapbook.
How did you get the picture?
I just kept it in my scrapbook, cut it out of paper or something.
Oh, okay. Well, you've told me an awful lot about your life in the service. Can you tell me about your life after the service?
Well, mostly after my service days, I was lonely all the time. My husband went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, went straight from work out to the tavern and attended the bar till 12 o'clock. I never saw anything of him. Never had very many visitors. The only people come to see me was my mother and my sister-in-law. A few other people come, but that was spaced out in between. I was lonely all the time I was married.
Where was that?
Excuse me, I was in Martinsburg. That's why I kept going in and out of the service. I didn't like staying by myself all the time.
I see. Do you recall when you got married?
Yeah. I was married over here in Hagerstown, Reverend Hodgewell or somebody.
Okay, and do you remember what year that was?
I think I was in 57, I don't know.
57. So you got married, and you had a husband, and when you got lonely, you would just go enlist in another branch of the service?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did he feel about that?
He didn't say anything. He was used to me leaving. He married someone else, but he's married to me. And then he come back to me.
Do you recall where you were the day your service ended?
No, but some of them.
Do you remember your last duty station? After you came back from being a prisoner of war, where were you discharged from?
I think down there in Washington, I think.
In Washington?
Mm.
How did you adjust in the days and weeks afterwards, after being out of the service? Was it hard to adjust?
No, I got along pretty good.
Did you go back to work or go back to school?
Yeah, we didn't have schools and then had army. I spent 34 years down to the VA in Martinsburg.
You spent 34 years at the VA in Martinsburg.
Yeah.
Okay, now, when did you enter the VA in Martinsburg?
I know. I came there from Perry Point. I was down Perry Point and they sent me to Martinsburg.
So, how long have you been here at Avalon?
I think about 2 years.
Okay. Did you make any close friendships while in the service, and do you still contact those people?
No.
No. Did you join any veterans organizations?
I joined the Disabled American Veterans.
Okay. What about Veterans of Foreign Wars?
I didn't join. Yeah, I think I joined that one time.
So, in the most recent past, before you were at Avalon, you said you were at the VA Medical Center in Martinsburg.
Mm-hmm.
Were you there as a patient, or did you work there as a nurse?
Patient.
You were there as a patient.
I worked there as a nurse for a while. And I was on the ambulance duty. I was riding the ambulance. And a patient started screaming and I cracked up. And you can't nurse after you're known to be insane.
I see. So, the patient...
So then I was a patient there.
I'm sorry, what?
Then I was a patient there.
Okay, so you were working there for a little while. A patient had a breakdown,
Mm-hmm.
and it affected you.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, you were no longer a nurse, but you became a patient there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you...
A lot of nurses done that was in the military.
Do you remember any of the people at the VA Medical Center?
Yeah.
Who do you remember?
Rhonda, one of the nurses here, used to nurse down to the VA in Martinsburg.
Okay, you remember anybody else? Do you remember the Chief of Voluntary Services?
Daddy Huff, yeah, I remember her.
You remember Dottie Huff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell her I met you and say hello to her for you.
Okay.
Have you ever attended any reunions?
I went for high school reunion a couple of times.
Well, I was thinking, Betty, about any service-related reunions.
Mm-hmm.
Betty, how did being in all four branches of the service and the experiences you had affect your life?
I don't know. Turned out to do pretty well, so I got VA pension from it.
Is there anything you would like to add that we did not cover in this interview, and is there any way that I can help you
I'd just like to have a copy of my discharge.
you want a copy of your discharge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your discharges, actually, right? You have several?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, so I know.
Well, Betty, on behalf of the Veterans History Project, the Library of Congress, and the United States of America, I want to thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
And I feel honored and privileged to have been able to interview you and learn your really important, vital history. And I would want to pass along to you the heartfelt thanks of your nation.
I just wish I could remember more about it, but I didn't dwell in the past. I forgot that all well.
You didn't dwell in the past and you forgot about it. And I imagine, Betty, that your stroke has a lot to do with what you were...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It affected my speech for a while, but then it came back to me.
Okay. Well, Betty, I think we're done. I think our interview is done. I'm going to make a copy of it for you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you once again, Betty.
You're welcome. I'm going to go down and play bingo. We're going to play bingo at 2:30.
I know that's important. I hope you win.
Yeah.
I hope you win.
Win the coverall and give myself a Mountain Dew.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Thanks.